Hey everybody, it's Michelle, and today is Friday, and I thought I would tell you some creepy stories that are true. Some of these are claimed to be true, but the last one I'm going to read is very much true, and that takes place at a hotel I'll tell you about. Okay, my first story is called The Twisted Backwoods Couple. My neighbor at my old apartment was a state park ranger, now retired. Apparently, when he first got the job, there was a younger kid, maybe 20ish, who went missing while out on a camping or hiking trip. They organized a huge search of the area to no avail. A few years go by, and some evidence turns up that wasn't even in the direction they had originally searched. It was part of his camping equipment. On his off time, my neighbor took to searching the area where it was found, hoping for more clues. Just outside the state park lived a couple in a ramshackled hovel who were quite reclusive and very odd. One day my neighbor had to talk to them about something unrelated to the missing kid. He's in their house, which is a mess of junk and no running water and stuff like that. It was hard to focus on anything there. While he is talking to this couple, he realizes that his guy's ashtray looks very weird. He looks closer and realizes it's a skull. There's this investigation into the couple, and here's where things get really twisted. An investigation shows that they were innocent of killing the guy, that he had died of exposure and dehydration. Apparently, this backwoods guy had come across the body after he died, and his dogs were after it. When he took the skull, it was really recent after death and apparently was still a head with features and hair and everything. The guy took it and defleshed it and took the top off to use as an ashtray. Apparently, he was well aware there was a then current search for a missing person and could recognize him from the pictures. But it never dawned on him or his wife to go to the police and inform them of their findings. He just saw an opportunity for an ashtray. Apparently, he showed them where the remains were, and they scrounged together enough for a burial, but kept it quiet so that the family did not know that some guy put out his marbles in their loved one's head for 5 years after letting his dogs eat the boy's remains. That's kind of gross. Okay, the next story is called The Insane Lady Found Their House. I moved to my dad's when I was 10, and I didn't know anyone in the area except for the family my dad was friends with. A single mom with 3 kids. Luckily, there was a girl a couple of years older than me, and we got to know each other a little over the couple of years. We weren't very close, but we ended up having some of the same friends. One night, my friend Rob was hanging out with her and her younger brother. They happened to be in the house alone because my friend's mom was at work, which is where this gets terrifying and sad. Her mom had been helping this one lady through her job and got to know her very well. She found out that her sister was in a mental institution and was let out recently. The night that Rob is hanging out with my friend, they get a knock on the door. My friend thought it was just their mom because she knocks in a certain way when coming in, so my friend answers it without thinking. Rob wasn't supposed to be there, so he took off through the open window to his house down the road. He never thought twice about it. Turns out it wasn't her mom. It was the sister of the lady that her mom was helping, and she figured out through talking to her sister where her family lived and her mom's working schedule. She came in, and this is where I don't know details, but I'm glad that I don't. My friend's younger brother got away to the neighbors to call the police. The lady brutally murdered my friend a week from Christmas, decapitated her, and left her body naked in a bathtub. She hid her head. They had to look through the presents, and I don't know where they found it, but they did. I wasn't allowed to go to her funeral. Okay, last visit. Our elderly neighbor fell sick and had to go to the hospital. Her niece asked us to take care of her dog while she was away. So after schoolwork and dinner and all, me and my brother were sent over to make sure he was doing all right. So it was late at night in this old lady's house, and my brother was in the shed checking on the dog, and I was in the living room looking at the old photos on the mantelpiece. I heard the door creak, and then a woman's voice called out the dog's name. I freaked out and turned around, and obviously there was nobody around. I thought maybe it was the lady's niece, but it had that weird, did I hear that outside my head or inside it, kind of echo to it. You know what I mean. So also I thought I was just letting the old house get to me. But then I went out to my brother and the dog named Naki, and he was freaking out too because he thought that he'd heard a woman's voice inside the shed with him say, "Oh, there you are." We both agreed the voice had that weird in-your-head sound to it, and we were convinced there were ghosts in the place. We left the dog in the shed, went home, and were greeted by our dad, who told us the neighbor's niece had just called to say the neighbor had passed away in the hospital a couple of hours ago. Okay, the next one is called Footsteps. I used to live alone in a small upstairs apartment. At night when I was there, either in bed or in the bathroom, I would hear someone walking across my little living room floor towards the balcony and back again. When it first started happening, I was too scared to do anything other than cower under the covers. My significant other at the time, who lived in the apartment downstairs, would hear it as well. When staying the night, we both heard it. One evening I came home pretty late. I climbed the stairs, unlocked the door, and opened it, only to freeze in the doorway. You know that awareness you have when other people are in your room with you or nearby? That gut sense, how you just know someone's there. I had the unshakable feeling that someone was in my apartment. And the light to the tiny balcony, which I never use, was on. I don't know what I was thinking, but I quickly turned on the lights, took a deep breath, and ran into the open kitchen to get a knife. It was that real to me. From there, I could see that there was no one on the balcony. That left the bedroom, bathroom, and the closet. I'm not sure why, but the closet was the scariest place to check. I have no clue how to fight with a knife, but I think a big part of me already knew that I would not find a living person in my apartment, and I didn't, nor did I see anything else that night. It was just then that undeniable feeling, and it stayed with me for a while. Feelings prove nothing, but I know for a fact that I didn't turn on that light, and the footsteps continued. Alright, this last story is called The Death of Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam was last seen on January 31st, 2013 in the lobby of the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. She was vacationing through the West Coast, documenting the trip on her blog and checking with her parents every day. On January 31st, those calls stopped. Elisa had vanished. Soon the police were involved and her parents arrived to help with the search. They had nothing. That February, LAPD released elevator surveillance footage of Lam before her disappearance. The footage shows Elisa behaving very strangely in the elevator, appearing to talk with invisible people, peering around the corner of the door, but what exactly is going on in this video raises more questions than answers. Theories range from psychotic episodes to demonic possession to unknown assailants just out of the camera's view. Around that time, hotel guests started reporting weird things happening with the Cecil Hotel water supply, CNN reports. The shower was awful, said a guest who spent 8 days there during the investigation. When you turn on the tap, the water was coming out black for a few seconds, and then it would go back to normal. The tap tasted horrible. It had a funny, sweet, disgusting taste to it. I can barely describe it. But for a week, people never complained. We never thought anything of it. We thought it was just the way the water was here. On the morning of February 19th, a hotel employee climbed to the roof and used a ladder to investigate the hotel's water storage tank. That's where authorities found the decomposing naked body of Elisa Lam, whose personal items were found nearby. After an autopsy, her death was labeled accidental. NBC Los Angeles reported at the time about the strange circumstances in the hotel's past. The tank had a metal latch that can be opened, but authorities said access to the roof is secured with an alarm and a lock. This hotel has an unusual history. Night stalker Richard Ramirez, who was found guilty of 14 slayings in the 1980s, lived on the 14th floor for several months in 1985. An international serial killer, Jack Underweger, is suspected of murdering 3 prostitutes during the time he lived there in 1991. He killed himself in jail in 1994. In 1962, a female guest jumped out of one of the hotel windows, killing herself and a pedestrian on whom she landed. This story has a video of the surveillance that catches Elisa Lam inside the elevator. And if you go on YouTube and you put in Elisa Lam, Elisalam, she is seen in the elevator doing very odd things. And you can just type that in and see it for yourself. I'll put it down in the comments. And it's just very strange. I thought that y'all would like these stories. I'm gonna name it Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And I'm thinking that maybe on Fridays or Saturdays, I'm gonna look for a lot of creepy stories. I've been doing that all this past week, searching for all kinds of creepy stuff that I want to probably read to you on Friday evenings or Saturday evenings, and I'm gonna really find some scary ones because I know some of y'all like scary stuff. But anyway, in the comments, I'm gonna put underneath my video the area you can go to on YouTube and find this girl's video footage in the elevator. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed these stories, and I'll see you on Sunday for my Children's Bible Stories. Okay, y'all. Thanks.